Yo, right here in the small box. So, there's some issues going on behind the scenes. I need to dive into this because it gets a little concerning from time to time, you know? What we're going through right now with this whole shift in music, a lot of people don't realize is that it's going to affect a lot of the systems that we already have set. That's the one thing that I always fall back on when it comes to talking about the shift. Music needs a change, but at the same time, if we're going to change and upgrade and elevate to a better sound or whatever sound that's popular, we also need to realize a lot of systems that we have set need to be thrown out because they're not going to work anymore. Not all of them, but majority of them, they got to go for real, right? When we're talking this music now, I'm stepping behind the closed doors with all this information that I'm spewing right now because a lot of people in the general public are not going to understand this, so I'm going to try my best to explain it in any kind of way. Something's fishy though, that's for sure. Ebro, I wasn't too I didn't really have my thumb on it, be like, okay, there's something wrong. I was more curious. But with Charlamagne and what's going on with the Breakfast Club, okay, now I'm concerned. So let's go ahead and get started and lock in. Y'all do know how I start this, so let's make it happen. Let's go. Yo, you, right here in the small box, Welcome back to Flex Mob Reactions, only on the Flex Mob Network. I'm Flex. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing great out there. Hope y'all having a great day, a wonderful day. If your day's not that great, make sure you come tap in with us, bro, because we're going to make that day better. Let me tell you that right now. So we got chicks in front of us. We got a video that we're going to be watching right now, so let's not waste any more time. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the reaction. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop my videos or when I'm live like right now. And make sure you got something to drink, regardless if it's sweet, if it's a little strong, a little sour. Sit back with us and let's have some fun. Let's go.
YouTube chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Look at Chick Smooth. Hey, Chick Smooth. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Oh man, you guys, is this the end of the road for Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club? With all the major shakeups happening all around media, we just saw Ebro and Rosenberg lose their morning show at Hot 97. We're also seeing tons of podcasts call it quits this year. Is this the change that everybody has been talking about and alluding to? Now, if you guys don't know, back in 2020, Charlamagne renewed his contract with iHeartMedia for 5 years. Not only did Charlamagne extend his contract for the Breakfast Club, but he also partnered with iHeart to launch his podcast network, the Black Effect Network. Now, 5 years later, credit to Charlamagne, the network is actually doing very well. They've managed to sign a lot of top urban podcasts like 85 South Show with DC Young Fly. They also signed all the Smoke podcasts, Paul
85 South Show, hands down one of my favorites, without a doubt.
Minds podcast, The Read podcast, Big Facts podcast, and a host of other podcasts. Now, back in 2020, Charlamagne addressed the reason why he resigned with iHeart and also the reason why he partnered with iHeart for the network.
Over the past 7 years, the Breakfast Club, we've become partners with iHeart because we are nationally syndicated, and I've enjoyed the partnership with iHeart, but life is all about constant evolution and constant change. The Breakfast Club has been inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. Drop on the clue bombs for us, damn it. All right, we in the hall already. As my man Humble the Poet said, this feels both too early and right on time, but it is what it is. We have solidified our place in the culture. Okay, and we continue to move culture forward in various ways. But it's time to evolve, more like time to expand. So I started thinking to myself, what's better than a show that moves culture?
OnlyFans.
Man, shut up.
What?
I really want to see something.
That's what Breakfast Club does. We move culture, but it's one show. But with this one show, we're able to give multiple voices a platform. But for the last couple of years, I kept thinking, what if there was a network where a lot of my favorite black voices could be heard? That would be something, right? Not just one show that moves culture, but a network. Well, after a year and some change of plotting and planning and working and negotiating, I am proud to announce a further partnership with iHeartMedia to launch what I am calling the Black Effect Podcast Network. Drop on the clues bombs for that, damn it. Podcasts are the future of this audio business. I listen to podcasts more than radio nowadays, but they still go hand in hand. So because of this platform, All right, I'm able to partner with iHeart and create what is positioned to be the world's largest podcast publisher dedicated to black listeners, curated by me.
See, in 2020, that sounds like a lovely and wonderful idea. And yes, you're right, Tiff. Also, Glass and Malone podcast for sure. It's a very good idea in 2020 because in 2020, it was lockdown season, all right? And we went through that for about 2 years or so when it comes to the lockdown. So that's cool and all. So podcasts back then were booming. It made perfect sense to put one together because you couldn't really go outside or do anything because everything was locked down pretty much. Unless you were doing things on the low. That's a whole other story. My point is, podcasts are not working right now. Podcasts are not working at all. Even some live streams is not working right now. We're in a little situation where what we know or the things that we live by is not necessarily working in today's day and age now because of the lack of interest. You got to consider that. That's why things continue to change. It's all about the lack of interest. Think about today's sound and music, why it doesn't work. Ain't nobody really interested in something that they've been listening to for years. Damn near a decade or over a decade, regardless of how you want to see it. But even for this now, the Black Effect Podcast Network, wonderful idea, great idea to bring black people together. There's a flaw in it, though, and the flaw is the podcast itself. There's not real longevity to it. You're going to get a good amount of time out of it, but it's not going to last forever like that. It's not timeless. Some episodes might be cool, but it's not timeless. So, and that's why the shift is taking so long. There's so many systems that were set that's working to this day that are not necessarily working right now. And you got to also consider the fact that what's next? We don't even know what's next. Like, I can't even put my thumb on it. I'm going to be real with you. I can't even put my thumb on it. I don't know what is next right now. I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain. What could we see in the future, regardless if it's entertainment, music, news, etc.? Like, how is it going to go? And I don't even know. Not saying I'm like the pinnacle of all this, but I'm just a mind out here trying to figure it out, and I cannot figure it out for my life for me. And it kind of brings in a little concern because who knows what they be cooking up there in the big buildings, you know? It's crazy.
All right, Leonard McKelvey, Charlemagne the God. Now, the Black Effect Podcast Network will reflect a lot of my various interests, okay, from social justice to politics to mental health and mindfulness, comedy, sports, whatever my talented partners choose to discuss, okay? Now, this fall, we are launching, know in this business, it's just know in this business, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate, okay? Thank you, iHeartRadio, for being my partners. Let's continue to move culture forward. Black Effect Podcast Network launching this fall.
Well, 5 years later, the contract is up with iHeart, and the question everybody wants to know, will Charlamagne resign with iHeart? Is he going to extend his contract for the Breakfast Club, but take the podcast network somewhere else? Especially right now, seeing the boom in podcasting, and you guys already know who I'm talking about, Netflix. If you got a top podcast, these guys are giving out major bags for it. So imagine somebody like Netflix signing a major podcast network like Black Effect Network and having the rights to all these top black podcasts on their network. Now, of course, you also have other players like Spotify, NPR. Of course, you have Gimlet Media.
Yeah, but the price on Netflix is going to go up again. And everyone's been leaving Netflix wow, words are hard. Everyone's been leaving Netflix specifically because of the rise in price. It's getting less and less worth it. The movies and the shows that they have on Netflix are not working. So they're trying to bring in different popular avenues, popular intersections, just popular shows outside of what they have to bring in an audience. And not even with podcasting, I don't even think it's going to work. And even if it does happen, because like with Netflix and Spotify, they kind of like, they're trying to create a video podcast deal. The issue is that regardless if you're on Netflix or Spotify, both avenues, both applications, both servers, they're just not that good anymore. Spotify has been shaky for months. Netflix has been shaky for years. You think bringing them together is going to bring about peace and revenue for you. I hate to break it to you. It's either people are using said platforms or they're not using it, but they just don't want to get rid of it yet. In other words, they got that gym membership, but they don't want to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's why I see it. So, I don't even think that's going to work.
And also Podcast One. So Charlamagne definitely has options, and he...
Not all podcasts are getting dismantled. Only the ones that don't work anymore. Okay, think about it like this. I know it's controversial when we talk about Joe. And there's only one Joe that we talk about when it comes to controversy and mess. All right, it's Joe Budden. His podcast is a top podcast. It's such a good podcast that I think that's the first podcast that has a TV commercial on television networks airing as an ad. Like, you can go on Instagram. You can see it right there. It's probably on Twitter as well. The Joe Budden podcast has a TV commercial for their podcast. They're good. Anybody else under that is concerning. Okay? I don't even think all the podcasts on the Black Effect network are going to make it there. They're going to survive all this. If we're going to be super honest. There are certain voices out there, they got to go. They got to go. But you also got to work on your brand and work on the power behind your brand so that you can remain in effect, remain on the field with the other podcasts. You got to build yourself up to that. But time's ticking right now. Everyone's getting out of here because there's no money in it. It's a problem.
He knows it. 2 months ago, Charlamagne did an interview
What's
where he
good,
was asked
Chico?
about his
How you
contract with
feeling?
iHeart. Drake fans and Charlamagne haters are now resurfing this interview, celebrating and thinking that Charlamagne's run with the Breakfast Club is over, especially now that we're 2 weeks out from the end of the year and still no word from Charlamagne about his contract with iHeart.
So as you mentioned, Charlamagne, it was 2020 when you started it, and I believe it was a 5-year deal. So your renewal is coming up with iHeart. Do you plan to renew?
You know what's so interesting about 2020? That it was COVID, right? And so being that it was COVID, like everybody that I reached out to said yes to the Black Effect Podcast Network. And that's why we were able to launch with 20 plus, 20 plus different podcasts. But that's crazy you knew that.
I was gonna say, how do you know this?
Because
Because they watching you. I was gonna call it. I'm like, It's so funny that she's saying it. I wonder what's going on through her mind. What does she know? Bro, you can't fool me, bro. Like, you can't fool me. The same way how she raised her head up, like, how you know? Girl, you know exactly why they know. Because they watching you. They paying attention to your analytics. They paying attention to all the data that you bring in from that from the Black Effect Network. They see you, but you don't see them. That one-way mirror mentality is wicked, bro. I promise you that. Holy. They're watching for a reason. They're trying to see if you can still maintain and stay on course in this kind of time where they're looking to get rid of podcasts. A lot of podcasts out there has gotten good deals. But because of the lack of interest in podcasting today, that's the reason why a lot of people have been let go from the contracts and deals that they've had in the past. Just think about that, okay? It's hard. Like it's kind of like the same thing on YouTube. Cause watch this now. Let's relate it to all that we do on YouTube real quick. So, think about it like this. Say, for example, all of us were under one umbrella, under YouTube, just as an example, strictly. I want to make that clear because I don't want to confuse anybody. But all of us that have channels that we're all putting out our own content, we're all doing our own thing under this one umbrella. This umbrella is a very strong and sustainable umbrella. But over time, it starts to get weaker. What does that mean? It can't cover everybody. So, at that point, who has rised up in the wow, words are hard. Who has rised up over the years to a higher level from when they started? And who's still climbing? The people that are higher to the top, they can get covered under this umbrella. Because even though there's some holes in it, the higher you are is the less likely you finna get wet for real like that, right? The lower you are is more likely, a little raindrop come here and there. Think about it like this. It's going to get to a point where not everybody is going to survive this. Plain and simple. Over time, things change. Over time, things evolve. Over time, systems change. Systems evolve. Look at Billboard. Look what Billboard did to hip-hop. How do you think that happened? Over the years, they've been making changes, making it harder for hip-hop to stay on the chart, to the point where that one day, it all fell off the chart at top 40. Just think about that. How are we all working to move and advance closer to our own goals? What are our own goals? And how are we going to work towards them? And how efficiently can we do it at the same time? Take everything I said, apply it back to the podcasting now. Not everyone's going to make it, plain and simple. That's all it is. These companies, they don't care. They want to see money out of you. They want to see revenue out of you. As long as you bring in the money for them, they ain't got no problems with you. As long as you bring in the viewerships, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, they ain't got no problems with you at all. In fact, the faster you do it is the better you're going to stay on your square. Plain and simple. So when I go back and I hear this,
everybody that I reached out to said yes to the Black Effect Podcast Network, and that's why we were able to launch with 20 plus, 20 plus different podcasts. But that's crazy. You knew that.
I was gonna say, how do you know this?
Because when the press release says it was a 5-year deal, and the press release came out December 2020, and we're almost there.
Guys.
Whoever's in charge of this umbrella is watching you. Plain and simple. They got their eye on you. They trying to see, what's your next move? And do we really need you? Because as far as I see it, what you've built, has it worked? Because if it did work, we wouldn't be worried. You would have got another extension. But if it hasn't worked, knowing that podcasts have been losing viewership, interest, engagement, you got to take it from their eyes. All they want to see is you be great. Because if you be great, that means they're going to be better.
Carrie can read.
Carrie can read.
That's amazing. You've learned anything today. So I don't think you answered my question.
What's good, Jordan? I see you. How you doing?
We call that the weave. I learned.
The bob and weave.
Saw Donald Trump say that on Flagrant, the weave.
So we don't. She's wait, can you answer the question?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, your deal with iHeart expires at the end of this year. Are you going to renew with iHeart?
Why not?
I don't like to talk business. It's not the place to talk business.
Yeah. We're having a lot of fun. We have a lot of time to decide that. So we'll let you know December 30th.
It's not for you to decide. It's not for you to decide, baby girl. Come on. What is we talking about? Now you just lied through your teeth because you know what? They want to see you squirm. They want to see you concerned. Charlamagne don't want to talk business because it's not the place to talk business. You're right. You're on a stage in front of a crowd. Why the hell would you want to talk business? Girl is calling them out to see what's going on. Is there another signing coming? No. As far as I see that, bro, you see how wicked this game is?
First at
you'll know.
11:59 p.m.
Good answer.
What you guys are kind of alluding, though, is that you're talking around. Like, your options
No, I'm
are...
not alluding to nothing.
Okay.
I said I'm weaving.
Now you're doing the Dougie.
There are options outside of iHeart. It seems to be what we're hearing.
Now, everybody relax. Do we really think Charlamagne is not going to renew with iHeart? The man has been with iHeart for damn near 20 years. They've got a great...
But if they got Ebro out of here, what makes it think that they can't get Charlamagne out of here? Ebro's been with what? Been with them for like, who was it? Who has he been with? I forgot. Anyway, he's been with them for 19 years. Charlamagne, 20 years. They just got Ebro out of here. What about Charla? They can get him out of here too if they wanted to. Bring in a new voice, a brand new sound to this little radio show. You can keep the black effect. You can keep that. Go shop somewhere else. Go find a new home. But around here, your time might be up. Now, to be fair, like I was talking about with the whole political thing, Ebro didn't want to really dive into the political ish because he doesn't like the politics, right? The difference between him and Charlamagne is that Charlamagne actually accepts the politics. He has the politicians come on to the Breakfast Club to talk what they need to say. So that's what separates him from Ebro, right? You got to remember there's a time and place for everything. And if they need their time, they're going to need their time. Plain and simple. It can't always be about the culture. You can't always talk about the culture every day. That's the reality when you're under those kind of umbrellas. It's a wicked game to play. I'm telling y'all, all of this media-ish is a mind game. Never forget that. I might have to put that on the t-shirt and make sure y'all don't forget for real. Yo, this media-ish is a mind game. No cap. Like, serious thing. Oh, we got Slate Queen in here. Yo, big sis, Wappen, you all right? Yo, wagwan, big sis. Everything, Chris? Ebro said they've been trying to get rid of him for a while, specifically because of what I talked about. He don't want to deal with the politics. That's why they've been talking to him crazy. And now they finally got rid of him, specifically because of the politics. They want the politician to come on because that's more money in their pocket. That's what separates him from Charla. So I feel like even though it's a little shaky right now, I still think they're going to renew. Now, for how many years, I don't know. But I see it likely happening I think Charla going to be good. But you can't be safe around this time right now because regardless of who you is, you can get out of here at any time.
Partnership. Yes, he probably knows he could go somewhere else and get way more money that he's currently being paid right now. But I think Charlamagne...
Oh, Tiny, it's definitely disrespectful to try and squeeze an answer out of them. Media don't care. Media is neutral. Media is just an entity. It's just an avenue. It's just a home for all the important news and information out there. It's just a thing. So it is disrespectful, but they don't care. That's what I'm saying. This media thing is a mind game because they don't care. But you got to know how to navigate this space. And if you don't know how to do it, well.
Charlamagne likes being with iHeart. He likes working with the people there. Obviously, for them to partner with him on his podcast network, that means Charlamagne has the green light and unlimited budget for anything he wants. That's what makes it so difficult for me to see Charlamagne leaving iHeart for anywhere else. At this point in Charlamagne's career, I don't think money has an influence in anything he does. Right now, Charlamagne knows he's getting older, and for him, it's all about legacy. And let's keep it real. This is Charlamagne we're talking about here. The man loves the drama. The man loves the suspense. He knows the longer he waits to announce his contract renewal, everybody's going to be talking about it. It's going to be a big spectacle. Y'all remember last year when these guys were trying to sign Jesshilarious and they had a whole promo run for Jesshilarious after people kept wondering, yo, is she going to sign with the Breakfast Club or not?
First, I want to talk about this Breakfast Club rollouts that you guys did. How you feeling?
Oh, I feel good.
Yeah. Do you like just because you don't get to toy with the media? You don't get to toy with
I do it all the time.
But not like this. This was like...
This is the first time I ever told people I'm toying with them.
Oh, you're saying all the other times you've enjoyed. But this was like beautiful.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, the hardest part about stuff like this is just getting everybody else to be patient. I was just like, well, we haven't acknowledged just announcing it, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We haven't acknowledged it. So why not continue to play stupid? And so I already knew that playing stupid would take a life of its own. Like I told at that tail and all the time, I told you, I said, listen, if we play stupid, it's going to take a life of its own. And then, you know, I'm like, okay, after this week, it'll catch on. And, you know, our digital team was like, should we put out clips? I'm like, no, let them find it on their own. So they found us playing stupid on their own.
What's the example? What's the first thing?
Me just acting like, yo, man, last year we was rotating guest hosts, you know, and I thought we were supposed to start the new year with a new co-host. What happened, right? Knowing that, not acknowledging anything, not acknowledging Jess, not acknowledging...
Is she on the show at this point?
No.
So she's not even sitting in. It's just you and Envy?
She was always supposed to start February. She was literally always supposed to start February 5th. Literally. Like, that was Jessica Robin Moore's start date.
Did you start the play when she announced at like some show that she's...
I was on vacation in Zanzibar.
No, but I mean, was that the start of it? Like, and then we're going to make it seem like they took it back or that they didn't agree with it?
No, that was real. That was real.
But that actually helped.
I thought it was great.
It helped.
It was great. It was like, yo, because it shows you how much people care about being in that position. But I mean, the whole past 3 weeks of the rollout showed you how much people care about that particular position. And it shows you that Jess is absolutely the one.
And now, once again, Charlamagne is running the same exact play. And for some reason, people are still falling for it. It's very similar to the James...
I love this. I love this so much. Mind you, this is my first time watching this, but I just love the fact that Tasha K and her slow ass. She gonna stick to any kind of news that she can get on, and when it comes to running somebody to the ground, she gonna do what she needs to do. Let me get to some of these comments, bro. Let me make sure I catch up with y'all real quick. At least on this stage. I wouldn't want to talk politics either, though. Here's the thing. When it comes to politics, you can be running any kind of television program. You could be running on your station, channel, whatever. Politics is going to come in and kick everything over so it can get its screen time that it needs. Let's make that clear. You can be running a whole new series, and as soon as a politician come in talking about, I would like to have an interview on your station so that we can get some more supporters for me. You better take that, because if not, that's money lost. Plain and simple. You think all this free? You think all this free knowing that they got to pay? You serious? That's free money in your pocket. That means iHeart, whatever radio station, whoever's running that, whoever's owning that, they gonna need that. They gonna need that funding. Let's make that clear right now. That's kind of like the power behind having this one thing that works, because it's gonna bring in a whole other amount of people that are willing to give money to sit down here so they can engage with the audience here, so they can gain some supporters based on the conversation that they have on this platform. That's how a lot of money's being made. Think about it. It's the same thing for Joe. It's either somebody reaches out and they pay him, or he reaches out and he pays them. Like, for example, but when Dr. Umar was on the Joe Budden podcast for a Patreon episode, smart, by the way, when he was on a Patreon episode, he had to reach out to him to have him on the show. If you have artists, if you have anybody that has anything that they're trying to promote, they have to pay that brand, that platform, to sit down and have that conversation. This ain't free. None of this free. None is free, but that's why he had 20 mil that year. That's how Joe Budden made that 20 million from that year. The amount of guests that they had, the amount of Patreon episodes that they have with special guests, everything like that. That's how they get their money. That's how they get their money. And if you stopping people from getting money, well, they gonna get you out of here, right, ebro? Like, this is crazy, bro. I promise you, all of this is insane. None of this free.
It's hard and step back. You know it's coming, but for some reason, you can't stop it. And right on cue, Tasha K tweeted an hour ago saying, Charlemagne's contract ends on January 21st. A close source tells me they're not bringing him back, reportedly due to his shift in the political space. And we all know Tasha K is not the most credible source out there. But I bet you Charlamagne is now going to sit back until January 20th, 11:59 p.m. to officially announce his renewal with iHeart. Man is a sicko. He loves this stuff. He loves to see people with egg on their face, especially people that want to see him fail. I don't think there should be any worries or any panic about Charlamagne leaving iHeart. For all we know, they could still be in contract negotiations, and you obviously can't talk during the process. So let's see what happens within the next 3 weeks. You guys get in the comments below. Do you guys think Charlamagne renews his contract with iHeart, or does he go somewhere else as a free agent? Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later, man.
Like I said, I won't be surprised if he renews. But if they get him out of here, that's when it's gonna get interesting. That's all I gotta say, because he's Breakfast Club. You know, like they have Envy, they have Lauren LaRosa, they have Jesshilarious. The four of them make up the Breakfast Club. But at the same time, whose face has been here for this amount of time aside from DJ Envy? DJ Envy can try his best, but he's not the voice of this thing. He's more of like an engineer for this thing. That's why he sits on that side with all them little controls that he needs to use, right? Charlamagne sits here because he's the influencer, he's the voice, he's the face behind the Breakfast Club. He's the reason why the Breakfast Club has been the Breakfast Club, and the Breakfast Club is able to bring about the Black Effect podcast network. I'm just leaning more towards how that's still going to exist, knowing that they're getting podcasts out of here. How many of those podcasts are they going to let go? That's the interesting part about all this, bro. I promise you. But I like videos like this because, like, it's rare to get deep dives like this, you know? So shout out Chigs for this one for sure. It's going to get real interesting in the coming year. 2026 is going to bring about a lot of changes. I promise you that. It's going to bring about a lot of changes, but I really think it's going to be a good year for sure. Because we've been having bad years. For the past couple years have been bad years. Bad. I have a feeling 2026 is going to be real good. It's going to be a real good year, you know? For music. So who knows? Sky's the limit at this point.